Hi and welcome. So for today's card share, I'm using the Pixie Dust Designs My Valentine 6x6 paper pad. I originally pulled this out and this was on the flip side, and I ended up using this side. They're all so pretty, and this one ended up working better. I was pretty happy with it. There's not a bad paper in the pack. I love this pack. And then I am using Pixie Dust Designs. It's the snail with a snail and mushroom for Valentine. So you get the balloon, you get the candy box, and then there's a ribbon for the candy box. And then the shell on the snail's back has 3 pieces here, so it layers and gets you a little dimension. Then you've got the mushroom, and then the top of the mushroom, and then the stem, so you get more dimension on that. And then, the eyes, you can make it feminine or masculine, so the antenna can have a little heart on it, or you can just make it more masculine. And the eyes and that. It's just a really darling set. And the balloon. I mean, I could just see doing a whole bouquet of balloons with this set, and her glasses. And then I also use the Pixie Dust Designs Grandfather Clock add-on for Valentine's. If you have the grandfather's clock, this will work obviously perfect with it. But the little accents, the cupcakes, the strawberries, that's the chocolate-covered strawberries, and then, Kiss with the shadow that goes vertical instead of horizontal, in the little decorative parts. Just love it. And then I dug out this old set that says I love you so much from Lawn Fun. It's like 7 or 8 years old. So let's get started with our card. So to get started, I die cut out everything I wanted. And now I've got part of the mushroom on the inside. I'm making like a double layer card where there's a little flap on the front of the card with a sentiment. And then you also have the inside of the card base. So I stamped my sentiment from a really old stamp set, and I had the mushroom on there just so that I could place the sentiment where I wanted it. So now I'm taking everything I die cut and I'm going to go and grab some inks and then again just go around the edges for dimension. I can't stress how much that adds to a project, adding just a little bit of shading around for dimension. And there's lots of little parts to this die, but every little part just adds so much, so I enjoy it. So right now I did the hearts that go on the antenna, and then I'm doing the little bow that goes on the candy box, and then around the mushroom, and then the snail shell is so wonderful because it has 3 parts to it as well, so going around the 3 parts for the snail shell. So getting those done, and then I'm going to go with a really light color around the edges of the snail and the base of the mushroom. And I don't know if you can see it, but there are lines on the snail form where the head and body are attached. And so there are these great lines that show where the neck is going to be, and there are these great lines that show where you should line up the shell to attach it. So it's a really great, well thought out die that allows you to have success every time you use it because the lines are there to create the best look. So finishing up with my ink blending, and now I am just gluing everything together. So I am going to cut off the pink stems because I wanted a nice light colored stem. And so I'm gluing it onto a cream colored cardstock, and honestly I could have left it like this. It looks really good like that, but I did want to add a colored base onto it too. Just that extra dimension just adds a lot. So adding on the base, I could have just left the base, not ink blended the base and left it a cream color as well, but I wanted a little bit of contrast there. So then getting the hearts onto the antennas for the snail. And the face on the snail is so darling. And I don't know if you can see in the upper right, when I die cut, I just put everything into an old photo box that I have. I have 3 of them that I use when I'm die cutting because I usually have several projects going at once. And it works great. And they stack well, and there's tabs to keep them shut, so when I knock them over, because I'm going to knock them over, nothing spills out. So here I'm assembling, getting everything lined up. Again, great lines on the die, makes everything easy. And you'll see the little heart candy box. I cut that out of silver foiled cardstock and then just added the little bow. And now I'm adding the highlights to the eyes. And I like that I can do that so the eyes have a little more dimension. They pop out just a little bit from the head, so it just makes them more noticeable. Plus the fact that they're extraordinarily cute helps a lot too. I'm getting the eyebrows, so I'm assembling that. And I believe there were lines, yes, there were lines on the dies for the eyebrows as well, so you knew where to put them. So you can, and they're not really intrusive lines, so if you want to leave the eyebrows off or want to put them in a different spot, you can do that. But I just love that it's really created for us to have success assembling these dies. So the eyeglasses are darling. I mean, the little hearts, the way they are too big for the face, it's just so sweet. And then getting the little smile on there. Again, there's a line for the mouth, so you know where to put it. And the antennas do not have a spot. That's up to you what you want to do. You can have them far apart, close together, not at all, whatever works for you. So now I'm going to assemble the sentiment portion. So I put another mushroom on the inside and then added the front and then that little wooden bar to hold it. And then I'm putting some brads in there that I've had since like 1995. Getting those used in a heart that fits right. Doing some inlaid die cutting on the heart. And then creating our little scene there. So that the snail comes with arms too. So just gluing the little arms on. So it looks like she's holding isn't that just darling? The grass comes from, there's the fall box card set, which is actually on clearance. If you want a great die at a great price, pick that up. So I used one of the grass scenes from that die set for the grass here. And then the clouds are from the Beach Day Slimline, which is also in the clearance section. Again, another great set. So I used those clouds for that background. I'm doing a little cheek coloring and coloring in the heart on the sentiment. And then I do end up cutting down the pole. That front part is sticking out a little more than I like. So once I get my card base done, I'm going to cut off the pole that the banner's hanging from and then glue it back in a little closer so it looks a little more balanced. And then it's just card assembly, gluing down the layering layer, the layering base, or the base layering layer. There we go. So this is the card we made together. Let me zoom in a little. Thank you. So like I had said in the beginning, I flipped the paper over and I love how it looks. Used a postage stamp die, did a decorative topper for the clock add-on, and then I cut the rod down and used some brads that have not seen the light of day in about 11 years, but I hung on to them and I used them. And so it's just such a cute set. Look at how darling her facial expression is, and then with the little glasses, I love it. And then you open it up and it says, "I love you so much." So it was really fun to make it. I love this set. I can see me using it quite a bit. And I'm thankful that you joined us. If you liked the video here, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.